Let's get to some questions, Jim. This was sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Mac in Kankakee, Illinois.
Come on now. You don't mean to tell me that you've never heard of Kankakee, Illinois.
I've never heard of it before in my life.
Oh, for sake. All right. Well,
How do you know
apologize.
it? How do you know it?
It's Kankakee, Illinois.
What is it known for? Who's from there?
It's known for being called Kankakee, Illinois. How can you overlook a uniquely named all-American city like Kankakee, Illinois?
Well, here's Mac's question.
Canopies, Illinois.
I have been seeing an influx of the word burial every time a wrestler loses a match. Would you mind clarifying the definition of a burial and give us an example of same? Also, have fun pronouncing my town's name.
All right. Well, we accomplished that already. This is another of those words or terms that, yes, it was used in the wrestling business, but since the internet and everybody thinks they're smart, and then the people got smart on the internet, open wrestling schools, and they start newsletters, and now, a 30-second backstage promo is an angle, and all the terms become prostituted or morphed into something else or misused or misapplied or whatever. So I will attempt to tell you what it is supposed to mean. And it's not hard to figure. I mean, tell me, Brian, because I've been in and around wrestling and the business and the people in it for so long. It's still, if you went out on the street and were talking to normal civilian people that didn't have anything to do with wrestling, and you said something like, "Oh, I told my wife that I was out with you last night, Ben, and we went to get a couple of beers, but I was really screwing around. But then, son of a bitch, the girl called on the phone and buried me." That would make sense, right? Maybe not.
No, I mean, it would make sense. I don't know how often that's used in conversation.
Well, I mean, anything.
But it makes sense, yes.
When something buries you, it buried me when so-and-so said something right out in front of the person I was trying to fucking sweet talk or whatever. Anytime that something is presented to the public that is bad about you, that causes you to lose stature in people's eyes or be embarrassed or whatever, it buried me. And just doing a job in and of itself is not a burial. It's not you're burying that guy because you made him lose a match. Now, some of the guys in the territory days may have said, "Oh, fuck," and then they made me put so-and-so over and it buried me. Well, that's their opinion. But a literal burial is when, for one reason or another, a guy had gotten so much heat with the booker or the promoter or the office, or, it just was a fucking issue of some kind and got in somebody's fucking bonnet, that they would say, "Fuck him," and not only give him his 2-week notice, but fucking beat the shit out of him on the way out, bury him, make him look like an idiot. That would be a purposeful burial. And an accidental burial would be somebody, as you see more of today, coming up with an idea that either they shouldn't have done it or they didn't do it the way that they were thinking they were going to do it, and it came out and it buried the fucking guy, made him look like an idiot, or made him look weak, or made him look like he couldn't whip anybody. And go back to what I was saying earlier in the program, when you've got baby faces that you expect to draw in the main events on top, you can't bury them. You can't make them look weak and ineffective and stupid or like they brought it on themselves or they completely fucked up. Because then that buries your baby face. He's buried under the ground. He's dead. You've killed his drawing power. Or you can bury a heel by him never being effective and never winning. Or remember when MJF was supposed to be the most dastardly human being on the world and everybody started outsmarting him? That's when you bury a heel. But just doing a job or somebody getting off a zinger in a promo or whatever, now the kids will say, "Oh, he buried him." No, it's more extensive than that. You need to really, again, by on purpose or by complete ignorance, you need to really have a guy do a series of stupid things and that makes him look like he can't do anything right. But that's a burial.
But what about booking burials? Those are a bit different.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, they're all booking burials. Again, it's just on purpose or it's by accident. You know, you're still booking it. Oh, we think this will be great. It ended up stone cold switching heel and hugging Vince McMahon. That was a booking burial, but nobody intended it, but it killed much of the business.
Is Hunter Hearst Helmsley's punishment period that, or was he still treated too good for it to be that kind of thing?
No, they knew they weren't going to bury him and get rid of him completely and run him off with a stick. They just were going to punish him and then come back to it later on if it worked out that way. It wasn't a sure thing. They were, anything could have happened in that 6 months or a year or whatever. But they were, just we can't let this go by unpunished or unnoticed or unaddressed. But we hope we'll still get something out of this guy in the future.